Let's move on. Second round, Creighton beats Oregon. Not really an upset, but obviously Oregon did look hot coming in.
Yeah.
This was a crazy game, though.
Yeah, it was.
It got towards the end, and it looked like, I can't remember, was Creighton up and Oregon crawled back towards the end of the game? One or the other, and it got to close to overtime. And my cousin was in town. And I was like,
Oregon was up, and Creighton had to come back.
I was like, dude,
at the very end.
This game's over. I'm gonna go to bed. But then Oregon crawled back, and I was like, well, it's 5 more minutes.
Yeah,
and then you go through that, and then Oregon just could not buy a bucket in that second overtime.
But that's kind of what happens. They depended on the same 2 players in this game because they combined
60 of their 73 came from
and
same 2 players.
Creighton finally decided to start double teaming Couisnard.
Yeah.
And then when he's double teaming them or him, he can't get the ball to the big man.
Right.
And I think his legs honestly just started giving out on him because when he was shooting the 3, they all looked the same. They're all short.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, when you play in the way that he did, obviously he played pretty much the entire game versus South Carolina, pretty much the entire game versus Creighton. Then you go to 2 overtimes, your legs are just going to gas out, especially when you're like the guy.
Yeah, if you're taking all the shots, it's one thing if you play the whole game, but you're not doing a whole lot in that game. Yeah, so it was a good run, but I was happy to see them lose.
Yep. NC State continues red hot for them, but it wasn't like a blowout because they took on an Oakland team that was riding a lot of confidence as well.
Yeah.
But hey, win in advance. That's all you got to do.
You know how much that big boy weighs down? Their center?
For NC State? No.
He's listed at 275.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He's probably bigger than that.
No way he's 275.
Yeah.
Some people show it differently. Yeah, but he's a big boy.
He's 6'9". He ain't 275.
UNC, they're dominating. Beat Michigan State 85-69. Gonzaga, strong second half, beating Kansas.
That shocked me. That surprised me. When I was kind of watching the game, I was like, but
Gonzaga's one of those teams they said that.
Well, nobody really expected them to. They at one point did not even make the tournament,
right?
And I don't know what happened in the second half, but yeah, I mean they put the beat down on Kansas for sure.
Clemson upsets Baylor 72-64. Again, they're playing hot. They're playing together.
Yep.
They can make a run here.
Yep.
And then Duke dominates James Madison to advance to the Sweet 16. So, Sweet 16 matchups. First of all, before we get into that, just a quick little. Have you seen the NC State coach's contract?
Mm-mm.
So he's in the last year of his contract, and he had a clause within his contract that if he won the ACC tournament, he automatically gets a 2-year extension.
Oh.
He was on the cusp of getting fired before the ACC tournament started.
Yeah.
Wins the tournament, gets a contract extension automatically, and now he's making a run into the Sweet 16. So.
Well, that's like, I think it was Long Beach State maybe, but there's a coach who actually got fired before their conference tournament, which if they didn't win the conference tournament, they weren't making the NCAA tournament, and they won their conference championship, made it to the NCAA tournament, and it's like, that's weird that he still continued to coach.
Right. Being terminated.
Exactly. Yeah, so and obviously we're not going to be able to cover every game, because there was, how many games since Thursday? But, one late last night between Houston and Texas A&M was a good one.
Yep.
But other than that, there was a lot of blowouts in the round of 32.
There was.